Have you ever met someone who just talks too much? Someone who always has a bigger story, a wilder tale, a grander adventure than anyone else in the room. We all know that person, the one who lives for the spotlight, whose ego is a bottomless pit, demanding to be filled with admiration and awe. Usually it's just annoying, a harmless, if slightly pathetic, need for attention. But what happens when the stories they tell aren't just embellished tales of fishing trips or exaggerated workplace victories? What happens when the boasts are about something much, much darker? We are about to descend into a story where the line between harmless bragging and a chilling confession becomes terrifyingly blurred. This is a story about a criminal who couldn't keep his own secret, a person so consumed by their own pride, so desperate to be seen as clever and daring that they dance dangerously close to the edge of exposure. It's a tale that follows a simple, yet devastating pattern: the brag, the slip, and finally, the proof. We will explore how a person's own words, spoken in moments of arrogance, can become the very chains that bind them. Through real online posts, chillingly specific accounts, we will piece together a puzzle that was laid out in plain sight, hidden only by the sheer audacity of the person laying the pieces. To understand how it all fell apart, you first need to understand Marcus. Marcus Thorne wasn't just a man, he was an event. Walk into any bar, any party, any social gathering where he was present, and you would know it instantly. He had a magnetic energy, a booming laugh that seemed to command the attention of everyone in the room. He was the kind of person who always had a story ready, a perfectly timed joke, a wild anecdote from a life that seemed far more exciting than anyone else's. People were drawn to him, not just because he was entertaining. Marcus's need for an audience wasn't confined to crowded bars or weekend parties. In the digital age, he found a new, even larger stage: the internet. Social media anonymous forums became his echo chamber, a place to craft his persona, reach a global audience. He curated his online life meticulously. He continued to boast on various forums, offering expert opinions on other crimes. Each post was another small piece of evidence reinforcing his profile. They were patient, methodical. They expected he would make another bigger mistake. While his friends got the polished heroic tales and the internet got the technical anonymous brags, there was one person who got a different version of Marcus's stories: his therapist. Marcus had started seeing a therapist, Dr. Evans, a year prior, citing stress and a feeling of being misunderstood by the world. In the quiet, confidential space of the therapy office, Marcus found yet another stage. Here, he wasn't the hero or the anonymous genius. Here, he was the tortured intellectual wrestling with complex moral and ethical dilemmas. He became the king of hypotheticals. Let's imagine a person, a very careful person, Marcus began, his voice calm and measured. This person commits a crime, a burglary, but they make a small, foolish mistake, something trivial. They knock something over, something insignificant, like a bag of dog food. The comment about the doggy door sat on the forum like a lit match in a fireworks factory. For most users, it was just another interesting detail in a fascinating online discussion. They upvoted it. They praised Shadowcaster7 for his insight, but a few users paused. One of them, a retired police detective who browsed true crime subreddits as a hobby, felt a prickle of suspicion. He knew from experience that details like a specific entry point were often held back by investigators. How could this anonymous user know that? The police now had everything they needed. The digital evidence was a fortress: Marcus's search history, his location data, reconnaissance photos from his cloud account. Combined with the original tip from the Reddit AMA, the case was solid. A judge agreed, signing a search warrant for Marcus Thorne's apartment, an arrest warrant for his person. The time for quiet observation was over. On a gray Tuesday morning, plainclothes detectives assembled in the hallway outside Marcus's apartment. Morning chosen deliberately, he would likely be home. No dramatic raid, plainclothes, quiet. The lead detective raised his hand to knock, a simple, ordinary sound, about to shatter Marcus's world forever. Marcus opened the door, a coffee mug in his hand, a look of mild annoyance on his face. The annoyance quickly melted into confusion, a badge held up for him to see.
Marcus Thorne? We have a warrant to search your apartment. You're under arrest.
The confrontation didn't happen with a bang, but in the sterile silence of a police interrogation room. Marcus sat at a metal table, the arrogant persona he had worn for years now completely gone. He was small, diminished, stripped of his audience and his stage. The two detectives sitting across from him were not his friends, not his therapist, not an anonymous online forum. They were not an audience to be entertained or impressed. The lead detective slid a folder onto the table and opened it. It was a screenshot of the Reddit AMA. He saw the username Shadowcaster7. He saw his own words, his arrogant boast about the doggy door at the Hawthorne estate. Marcus finally broke. He put his head in his hands. The stories had run out. The proof was absolute. So why do they do it? Why would someone who has seemingly committed the perfect crime feel the overwhelming urge to talk about it? This is the question that sits at the very heart of Marcus Thorne's story. It's a question that goes beyond simple logic and into the deep, murky waters of the human ego. For people like Marcus, the crime itself is only half the accomplishment. The act of getting away with it is meaningless if no one knows you got away with it. The silence is a vacuum, and their pride demands that it be filled with the sound of applause, even if that applause comes from an anonymous stranger on the internet. This compulsion to brag is a form of psychological poison. The story of Marcus Thorne is a modern parable about the nature of evidence in our hyper-connected world. In a time when we live so much of our lives online, the line between our public personas and our private selves has become dangerously thin. Every search, every post, every location ping creates a digital echo, a ghost of our actions that can linger forever. It's a lesson about the immense power of small details, the brand of dog food, the model of a stolen watch, the specific point of entry. These were the things that unraveled his entire fabricated reality. This tale is a testament to the people who listen, to the retired detective browsing a forum, to Liam, the friend whose loyalty eroded as inconsistencies piled up. But some were actively taking notes. Ultimately, the inescapable nature of confession. Marcus confessed over and over, in a dozen different ways, long before a police station. His downfall was not an accident, it was an inevitability. As we fade to black on this story, the scary music that has accompanied our journey begins to soften, leaving only a low, unsettling hum. The voice of the narrator, the calm and measured guide through this dark tale, slows to a deliberate pace. The case of Marcus Thorne serves as a chilling real-world horror story. The monster wasn't a mythical creature, it was a common human failing, pride, allowed to grow unchecked until it became something truly destructive. It shows that sometimes the most terrifying monsters are the ones that live inside us, the ones that whisper boasts into our own ears, until we are compelled to shout them to the world. So, the next time you hear someone with a story that sounds too good, too wild, too perfect to be true, listen closely. Because sometimes, the most elaborate boasts are not just stories. They are confessions in disguise, waiting for someone to finally understand what is truly being said. The final word in the story, as it was in the beginning, belongs to the braggart's own fatal flaw, the one thing he could not control. His own inescapable need for credit, his own pride.